It was like a love-hate favorite part. Figuring out how to do the like marionette for the pants to make them walk. It was so hard and just very frustrating, and a lot of sewing and pricking my fingers with needles and stuff like that. But once we actually once we got the marionette right and like got the pants walking, it was like that's what we came for. You know? We came to see them walk, and now they're walking. So that was my favorite.
These pants are made for walking.
Yeah.
I have to say, my favorite part of the whole process is not part of the process. It was actually when we had a screening, and everyone from the school that was involved in all the different projects came and watched with their families and friends, and just hearing everyone laughing so much at this project, because when you're doing it, I mean, they're the writers and creators, but when you're like watching it being made, you have that feeling in your stomach of what if people just don't like pants that like are talking, like it just, you know what I mean? So feeling that like everything that we did, all the work we put in, was worth it off of just hearing the audience laughing and talking to us about it after. Like, how did you do that? How did you do, like, they cared. You know, it felt really, really validating.
The way that one pant was acting, I so felt it. This is great.
I guess there's two things. One was when we were, because you know we wanted to make sure that the tropes of soap operas were well used all through the series, and one that you know I was really fighting hard for was the slow zooms that they do at the end of every scene in a soap opera. And the debates that we would have on how many times to cut back and forth between two crotches of pairs of pants, like slowly zooming in. Should it be 4 times? Should it be 6 times?
The like second amount, like how many seconds?
Yeah, how many seconds each zoom should last for?
And I just gotta say, I lost that argument every time, and I was wrong every time. Every time I was wrong.
I always love when that happens. You look back and thank God they didn't listen to me.
I was like, 6 is too much, and Dad's like, we need 6.
But the other thing was, because none of us had ever worked with puppets before, and also we had all the puppeteers in the project had never worked with puppets before, and you know, I don't think really anyone has worked with pants puppets before, inside or outside our project. And so they had like their hands up the legs of the pants, you know, and then we would ask them to do all of these horrible things. Like there was a pants bartender in one of the scenes, and it was like it was really late. We only had an hour left to shoot, and it was like, okay, what we need you to do is your head's gonna be below the counter and your hands are gonna be up there in the pants. We need you to grab this can and grab this ice and pour it and you're gonna make a cocktail, okay? And he's like, I can't see what I'm doing. It's like, it doesn't matter. It's okay, you'll be fine. And then he like does it right at like the first try. Yeah. So that was really amazing to me. That all that kind of stuff came together at the last second.
Yeah, as far as looking at the grander whole scope of the thing, I think probably, obviously, my favorite part of it was the writing of it and thinking not just about how many puns can be crammed into this 100 pages and we want a pun every 5 seconds kind of thing. It was more about sculpting that story, that soap opera story, and thinking about how soap operas are made and the stories that they make, because I do love watching daytime soaps. I think they're so absolutely insane and amazing what they come up with. So seeing how much of that we could duplicate in this and adapt to what pants could do, how would that work in a pants world, was, that was really, really fun. And then just carrying that thread through the whole thing, making sure that we stayed on tone about what a soap opera was, because obviously we want people to be laughing as much as possible, but if they could also get attached to the characters. And we were really, we were pleasantly surprised, like even on the day that we were shooting, some of our crew they were just giggling like crazy about some of the pants characters, and they were falling in love with Denny or with Jean, going, I love this guy, and we're like, so like
our work is done.
Yeah, we're like, okay, so it is possible to find some emotional attachment to a piece of fabric.
That's a good point you make about staying on tone, because there were quite a few moments during the production and stuff like that where like people were like, let's make them do crazy, like go ah, and like it's like, and like really like be like puppets, but it's like no, we need them to be like people, like we need them to be like actors instead of just like doing weird motions and stuff like that, like like a kid puppet or whatever, you know.